Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Book Return, an Alva In-Building Library pod shot. I'm the information manager, a.k.a. Zach.
I'm the library director, a.k.a. Britney.
And I'm one of the clerks, a.k.a. Chloe.
Good.
Yeah.
Good show.
That's at the end.
That is it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty, and I'm not going to ask about your weekends, because
Thank
it's a
you.
pod
Yeah.
shot.
It is. We don't have time for that.
We don't.
Also,
We
we all
never do.
lived through the blizzard, so
Yeah,
clearly
that's
we're
true.
here. We
We're
lived.
Here. We're good. Got pretty crazy.
I feel like I brought something back with me.
I might actually be able to use my snowshoes now that
Oh.
I got
That's
for
cool.
Christmas last
Oh
year.
my gosh.
You didn't get to use them, like, at all, like, during last winter?
No, because I just was too busy. But
And there's been no snow,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I need those.
Snowshoes. You need,
Yeah.
like, boots. You come to work and, like, walk in the snow and
I do have boots.
you don't
They're-
wear
Do
them.
you just don't utilize them?
They are camouflage boots. Already stylistically clashing.
I can't even do it. My brain is like, what? No.
Nope.
They don't
Does
sound like
not
boots that
compute.
you would wear.
No, they're not.
You need other boots.
I do. These ones, I mean, they're sturdy. They take forever to get on. And, like, I have to tie them.
Good boots do.
Yeah.
I see. I like my muck boots. I can just slide my feet in, but
Oh
they're
my God.
super insulated and
I desperately need something like that.
That's nice. No ties or anything. That's really nice.
I can't wait for the future when we get rid of shoes that have ties. Unless they're, like, artificial and just like,
be
aesthetic.
like Marty McFly's like
Oh, yeah.
futuristic tennis shoes that just right onto his
Oh,
feet.
that'd be great. If he puts his hand down there and it does that, how much resistance before it stops? Or does it just, like, tear, like, thread through his fibrous hand?
I hope not. He has spray-on shoes and
yeah.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah.
That's true. Good movies.
I don't think he could take them off, if I remember
That is a
correctly.
fun movie.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Neither film fits into the category that we're discussing
doesn't.
today.
That's true. This is
I
not a
don't
good
know.
scene.
No, not at all. Talking about romantasy.
We are.
Romance fantasy.
Yeah. Romantasy? What's that, you say?
What is it? Name one.
Name one
romantasy.
romantasy. I have a lot.
I have a lot too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You name one. Because
Uh,
I'm guessing your list is shorter than Brittany's and mine.
you suggested
You're stealing from my list.
Nosferatu. By
No, I did
Joe
not.
Hill.
I certainly did not. I
I know what I heard.
I was looking at my fantasy. Definitely did not. I was looking at my fantasy list on my reading app, and Nosferatu is a fantasy in that app. But I was like, I think this is a horror.
I would have
See,
called it a horror
yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Which good
Yeah.
book. Side
Yeah.
note,
It's a good
and
book.
like Christmas horror book, but
Which is a great
a
like
romantasy.
subgenre.
It is. That's the only one I've ever read that's like that.
Sam,
It was very creepy. I liked it.
it was very, very scary.
It's not a romance.
It is not a romance, nor is it a fantasy.
No, it's
really.
a horror, really.
The one that I've heard that we have on our shelves right now is Legends and Lattes. Like a super chill, like romantic kind of
Yes.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's like a
also-
cozy-
a cozy fantasy. Yeah. Yeah.
It does have a romance, though. Yeah. And the prequel has less of a romance. She has a little fling, but
Okay.
it's good. Yeah.
So it's mostly fantasy.
Yeah. The sequel is prequel is more fantasy,
Okay.
but it's still quite cozy.
Sure.
So, the fantasy books can have a romantic subplot, but Romantasies is generally a romance set in a fantasy world.
Which I
so
love.
Yeah.
the romance takes the spotlight. Well, in the fantasy, in like just like a pure fantasy, it's more about the characters and the plot and the setting.
Sure.
Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read her, but I've heard she's
Yes.
kind of like the art blueprint for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are graphic.
Yeah. That's
From what
true.
I've been told by my 15-year-old nephew, who's now like 30.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say what?
Oh, yep, that's Connor. He listens. He read those when he was 15, I think.
Is this
Well,
like Court of Thorns and Roses?
They originally,
believe so.
she originally started out as a YA author, and the first 3 books in that series and the books in the Throne of Glass series were written for a YA audience.
Yeah.
But then the 4th book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series was marketed as an adult novel.
Okay.
That's so
which was
interesting.
weird.
Yeah.
And she was kind of on the, in my opinion, on the like the border.
Kind of that new adult.
The new adult, and she was one of the ones that like adult readers really latched onto in the YA genre, and so then she started writing for her more adult audience.
That's cool.
So
Yeah, I don't know any like teens who like her. Like everyone I know that likes her is an adult.
sure, and then her newest series, the Crescent City series, is just a straight adult series. But the interesting thing is her book that comes out like next week that people are like eagerly awaiting. Starts to bring all three of those universes together.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That is
so
cool.
going forward, those three universes are going to be like crossed over. So it's really interesting to see how that has kind of happened.
That sounds like it would be so hard.
Yeah, that's either going to be
Yeah.
phenomenal or just...
Well,
Yeah.
her books are really good.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, she is a good author. She pays really, really close attention to detail. Her foreshadowing skills are just unbelievable. Something will have happened in like the second book of Throne of Glass that pays off in like the third book
Oh my
of one of
gosh.
the. Yeah, it's really admirable how well she knows her material.
That's so hard to
and how
pull
she
off
is working
well.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the series that she transitioned from YA to adult, did the prose change in the two books in between, or was it?
Not really. I think personally, and when they moved, when she moved that fourth book into the adult arena, at the library here, I just moved the whole series into the adult
That makes sense.
Yes,
section
it does.
because they're together. They're mostly adult readers anyway. That way there are no. Well, why don't you have this one?
Yeah.
And if a teen wants it, they can find it still.
Yeah.
Sure,
We
sure.
can always help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, the style didn't really change much at all.
Okay. It's just how it was marketed
yep.
changed. Okay. Interesting.
And I think it was because it had started to come out and about that she was going to connect the series.
Okay.
And so I just think it was marketing and it was looking forward.
Okay.
So,
That's such a cool idea.
It is.
Can you think of any other series or authors that have done that with like different universes?
Not in the middle of their series jumping
Yeah.
audience. That's very one off.
Yeah.
Connecting their universes. Maggie Stiefvater did it a little bit with the Raven Cycle and the Dreamer.
Yeah, and the Dreamer. Yeah, those are just like some of the same characters.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Those are
otherwise,
really-
I can't really. But
Yeah.
are there some like pure fantasy authors that maybe Robin Hobb.
Okay.
Robin Hobb has done that. The Realm of the Elderlings is like the overarching universe that it all takes place in.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the Assassin's Apprentice. There's 6 of those now. There's the Live Ship Traders. There's the the Dragon trilogy, and eventually they all kind of weave their way.
That's really
Oh,
cool.
that is really cool. I really loved the
Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've read them, but those were fantastic. Some of my favorite fantasy.
Those books are relatively old. I shouldn't say old. They're older. But someone has discovered them on TikTok, and now they're making a resurgence
Oh, so
because
cool.
TikTok made them popular again.
TikTok does that a lot, and
It
I really love
does.
that.
Yeah, that is really
because
cool.
people who are niche readers, have accounts on there, and they find each other's, little niche things that they
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah. I feel like Robin, it's a woman author, right? Okay. I feel like she's inspired a ton of contemporary fantasy authors.
Sure.
Kind of the slow moving,
Yep.
like dark streets of this. It's not just high fantasy like in the Wheel of Time where
Sure.
it's very very floaty and flowery.
Yeah.
It's kind of mucky in medieval times.
What genre of fantasy?
The grimdark?
Is that what it is?
I wouldn't call it grimdark. But I don't know,
What would you call it?
low fantasy maybe?
Okay.
sure.
Because I feel like the magic systems and stuff like that isn't over the top as
They're
much
not
as it
over the
is,
top.
in
No,
Wheel
and
of
they're
Time.
very grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at some parts you kind of feel like you're in the maybe medieval Europe,
Sure.
medieval Britain, just because of the way that people interact and just the culture. Heavily inspired by that.
Sure.
I feel like.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel like Game of Thrones did that a lot too, but I'm guessing Robin Hobb inspired George Martin quite a bit.
Maybe.
Yeah, don't know. Who knows what that guy?
Nobody.
Nobody.
He doesn't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. I think you would like those, Chloe.
It sounds like it. I've not read any of her books, but I do like stuff like that a lot. Marissa Meyer kind of did that with the Lunar Chronicles.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of an expanded universe. Like, she's got Wires and Nerves. And I think there's another...
Cover of that is really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah. I haven't read those. It's like, there's like 2 in that
okay.
part of it.
I can't remember what the other one is either.
No. There's something Rogue, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
And she crossed him over.
It's like in the same universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This like Asia set in the far future, like after like the Fourth World War or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Really cool.
How did that start?
How did what? The Fourth World War?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Get
not
back
in the
to
book.
Okay.
We'll let you know in a couple of years.
Yeah.
The fourth
We're gonna get to 4 in a couple
World War
years.
III is just a couple of months long.
I mean,
This is just a little quick one. Yeah.
Madagascar's attacking Uganda.
The lemurs.
Oh no, the cutest invasion ever.
Oh.
I got to see Sarah J. Moss read. I think it was the first in that series, the Court of Thorn and Roses. Got to see her read from that in Denver, Colorado, like a decade ago.
Cool.
What was that about? When it would have come
I
out?
would think maybe about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was the first or second. But yeah, having this idea in my head for being like extremely like focused on detail, like phenomenal author. And she's so relaxed in person. Like
sure.
she showed up in sweatpants. She was like, writing is fun because I can just drink wine whenever and like I don't have to do anything. She was very
That's
casual.
hilarious. She's
and, like,
selling this life. This
Yeah,
author
right.
life
Honestly.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little like not truthful about how
Right.
nice and easy it is.
But yeah, she did play it up for like comedic effect, but she
Yeah,
was so
that's funny.
And just like really fun to listen to.
Cool.
Like, I feel like fantasy authors can be a little bit eccentric.
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
And she's no different, just eccentric
Different
in a
kind.
different,
Yeah.
more fun way.
More extroverted.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's a fantasy. So easy to just want to go back into a fantasy episode. Just like, you guys hear about that the short story that George Martin wrote about
No.
Vietnam that went into Bolts magazine?
No.
That's what it was called.
Bolts.
Because we talked about that. For
We
so
did.
long, but
We don't have to go over it
I
again.
don't want to.
Yeah. A lot. I kind of noticed when I was looking at my list of like fantasy books to see what I thought could cross over. More of like YA. I feel
There
like
are a
has
lot of YA ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I feel like YA in general is gonna have more of like a romance plot frequently. So that didn't surprise me too much. But that was
Holly Black, I
interesting.
would say.
Mhm. Yeah.
Margaret Rogerson. Carrie Maniscalco's newest trilogy started out YA. The Kingdom of the Wicked. And then now she's like 2 books into the second trilogy, which is in the same universe, but they're very much adult.
Okay.
So, but she finished the first trilogy and then, moved
Kind of
the
graduated. Interesting.
But I would definitely categorize her as a romantasy author that started out YA. Jennifer Armentrout
Oh yeah.
started out as a YA author, and I think her newest series is adult marketed, but definitely romantasy. We talked a little bit the other day about romantasy being thrust into the forefront of genres with Goodreads and their 2023 Goodreads Choice Awards, because there was one book that would have won both the romance and the fantasy category.
Which is insane. That's
I
so
know,
cool.
but it was wildly popular, again, of TikTok fame. It was called Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and so the romantasy category was created for almost that book specifically.
insane.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
No.
Okay.
I do believe that one of our beloved patrons, Carla, has read it,
Okay.
but I haven't gotten a review from her yet.
Okay. I hope she liked it because the
Yeah.
last several she's read and she's
Oh,
not been a fan
Oh,
of.
that's a bummer.
Yeah. But I
lovely.
love when people come back with like negative reviews because it's like when you like recommend something,
Yeah.
like I know that you like genuinely love
Sure,
it.
sure.
sure. That has to feel good if you're Rebecca Yara.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
honestly.
They made a whole genre for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did end up winning the Romantasy genre.
That's good.
That would be a
category.
bummer. if she lost
It
that.
would be. Oh my god, that would be devastating.
Oh,
It's becoming more popular in literature. Is a Romantasy like branching out? Can you think of any like Romantasy TV shows, TV movies? Because it sounds like more of a concept and not just like a lit device.
Right.
Yeah, and it uses tropes from both the romance and the fantasy genres.
Yeah.
Maybe the Vampire Diaries, but which was based on book, but
True.
and the originals.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to think of too many things that
I don't know. Does Riverdale count?
I was thinking Riverdale because it gets like supernatural. I guess I don't know.
Is that season 2? That people
I
really?
think season 2 or season 3 it starts
Okay.
getting supernatural. I bailed. I couldn't do it.
I know I've heard people say that season 2 was like totally off the rails.
I quit before it really got off the rails.
Like most romance things that I can think of, that like that's at the forefront, were either rom-coms or just like indie drama movies.
Sure.
So
A lot of the YA, like the Hunger Games, I guess it's not fantasy. But I was gonna say like the movies are way more like focused on that romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're still a byproduct of like the situation. And
Sure.
like you can take out the romance and it's still an engaging
It's still a
movie.
story.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
If you take out Harry and Sally, it's just the restaurant.
That's true.
One that's not being disrupted.
Right.
To be
It's a
honest.
peaceful restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
Twilight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That definitely fits into that category.
Yeah. Because the romance is the plot for sure.
Healthy romantic dynamics.
Doesn't have to be healthy to fit the genre.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And those are not.
Sidebar ColourPop, who is a
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know, of course
Oh,
you
I
do.
got it.
They have just released a Twilight line.
It's on the way. I'll be
I was
wearing
going to
it.
tell you about it. Oh.
I'm so excited. It looks really cool.
Are you gonna have like? Are you gonna look like a? Was it DJ Diamond from the Trolls movies?
I haven't seen that.
You just could have diamond skin.
Yeah, there's a diamond like body oil.
It's so
yeah,
good.
it's beautiful. I have vampire skin every day.
The skin of a killer.
They should have called it that. I think they called it like diamonds or something.
The skin of a killer. That's a missed opportunity.
It's way
Oh,
better.
for
Going
sure.
for
Yeah.
Twilight.
Yeah.
That's a good quote.
Can you think of any other Romantasy makeup products? Still trying to think of. I'm still trying to understand.
ColourPop does have a lot of collabs.
Their Sailor Moon one is really cool.
There's even
Oh,
a
yeah.
Naruto
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Harry Potter.
Yep.
So cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Legend of Korra they did.
They have a lot of Disney ones.
That's very cool.
Yeah. We're sponsored by ColourPop today.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
I wish. Oh my gosh.
I got my girls, they had fabulous sales over Christmas, so I got my girls a bunch of palettes, and
Oh,
they're having so
fun!
much
Oh my
fun
gosh,
with them.
that's so cool. ColourPop has such good colors and
And they're good
palettes.
quality, too,
Yeah,
and they're not
so
expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Go on ColourPop. Type in SIEG to get 15% off today.
With a U. It's color with a U. So
Yes.
COLOUR.
Because they're from the across the pond.
Apparently.
I didn't know that it was with a U.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
This is not my category. I'm still trying to
No,
understand
it's
what
okay.
a
That's
romantic
okay.
the fantasy is. Like I
It's
get
not a romantic fantasy.
It's a
Romantasy.
romantasy.
Yeah.
like the idea intrigues me.
I feel like it's more like a fantastic romance. Like I feel like fantasy is like the modifier.
Yeah. I get it. I'm still trying to like go through the
It's
annals of my brain.
if you just think about it could be any romance story just in a fantasy setting.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I saw some Maggie Stiefvater books on some lists that I was looking at, and I was like, I don't know. Some of those don't. I saw the Raven Cycle on a list. It's like
Really?
I feel like those. Yeah, I feel like they have a plot
that's
without
magical
the romance.
realism.
Yes,
Anyway,
more
that's
than
not
fantasy. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I could see this. No, not even. I was gonna say Scorpio races, but not even that really. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings? salmon.
Yeah.
No, they actually. That actually came up on one of the lists that I was looking at, and that was used as an example of a fantasy with a romantic subplot. If you think about Aragorn and Arwen,
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
so fantasy and with that very small romantic subplot.
Yeah.
That is a very small subplot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in the movies, but it's still lovely.
I feel like the Wheel of Time gets much closer to like Romantasy. It's like,
I see. I haven't watched or read
Me
either of
neither.
those.
I haven't either. But I feel like I've heard.
So you don't know what
there's
you're
like
talking about.
no, there's a strong focus on like the
Okay,
romance,
Is
like
there?
subplots
Okay.
and
Okay.
stuff. Savandra's looking at. She's asking what we're doing.
Recording a podcast.
Yeah,
I don't
Which
know what
you're
that
now on.
She just cocked her head and made the more
and walked away. She's like, oh, okay. That's nonsense.
whatever you guys are doing.
She's
whatever.
going to have a lot of questions when
She-
we come back. Oh, she's back.
She's back.
Recording a podcast. Ah! I love her.
She's so funny.
She's hilarious. Oh
She
my gosh.
really is. Oh, yeah, I've heard that Wheel of Time is fine.
Romance.
Yeah, haven't really. I think I read the first book years and years ago, but I remember there being a lot of
what
romance.
other one could be considered or used as an example of fantasy that's with a romantic subplot is The Witcher.
True. Yeah.
Um,
So what's her name?
Yennefer.
Yennefer. That's right. Yeah, but then like you still have Geralt and everything else.
Yeah,
but
going on.
fairly close to a romantasy. But I feel like it's still like a fairly new genre.
I
Yeah.
think so
Maybe
too. There are some books that are coming out that are being marketed as romantasy. So new books being written with that genre in mind.
Sure.
And then the other ones, like past ones, have just kind of been, swept up
Yeah.
into that
Posthumously,
category.
yeah.
Sure.
So interesting. The series that I had been talking about, the Heaven Official's Blessing, I feel like that fits that really well because it's like set in a fantastical, like there are gods and demons and stuff, but the romance is like the overarching plot of like the 8 books is like them realizing all the ways that they've been connected throughout history
Aw.
over these hundreds of years and then getting together at the end. Well, not really at the end, kind of all the way through, but
But didn't they like only hold hands for the
Yeah.
first time in book 3?
Book 3 or 4. Yeah. It's a slow burn, but by the end, like there's like 5 like short stories at the end of the last book, and it's
Okay.
like after they've like been married and like
Aw.
living together, and it's really sweet.
So I feel like it hits much harder if the romance is like very slowly built upon instead
yeah.
of just like right in your
Yeah.
face from the beginning.
And there's other plot too, but it's
Yeah.
like really heavily influenced by the romance. Like the one character's only involved at all because he's like in love with the other guy. Like, and that changes like everything.
Sure.
Like, if you take the romance out, there'd be like no plot.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I was just thinking about the graphic novel series Saga.
Yeah.
And I have read the first couple, and I almost would say that would loosely fit into the romantasy
Okay.
category because it is a husband and wife,
Okay.
but like their relationship is at the forefront of that,
Sure.
the plot and everything that they do.
Yeah.
So that is maybe something kind of branching off, or it's older though, so it would be one of those getting swept up
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the category.
Romance adjacent.
Sure.
When I think romance, I think of like, will they, won't they, from start
Sure.
to finish, and then it pays off. Like their love is the plot.
Yeah. The will they won't they can get so
It
exhausting.
is.
They did it so well in
Agree.
Friends with Ross and Rachel, though.
I can't believe you said that with a straight face and then held it for like 3 seconds.
You
Oh.
did. That was impressive.
The air started just shooting out of me.
Rejecting
Oh, no.
it. Oh no.
Christmas air.
I don't like that very much. I like romances that just skip that part. Like Heaven's Official Blessing did that. They didn't. There was no won't they really. And like Legends and Lattes, I also feel like there wasn't like a lot of back and forth.
Good.
That it was just kind of like they slowly. Like it just feels way more natural.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like there's like a will we won't we in real life usually.
No.
It's just like a we're doing this or we're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You slowly build upon something that is real,
Exactly.
and then there's a payoff.
Yeah.
Like, I like stuff more grounded in reality,
Right.
but
In a fantasy setting.
Sure.
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
but the people you want to feel
right.
real.
And I want the fantasy to be not in your face,
Yeah, that's fair.
but like low romantic fantasy. That's where I would be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I
think that's what I would.
Yeah.
I feel like if it focuses too much on the romance, like the rest of the story isn't even important.
Yeah.
And I like the other story elements.
Same. It's a balancing act.
It
it's gonna
is,
be
yeah.
hard.
Like a big focus on fantasy is like world building and stuff.
Yes.
Sure.
And there's only so much you can do if you're
Right.
focusing on like
Right. Like, what's the
specific
point
couple.
of making it a fantasy? Why not just write it
Right.
as a romance?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like an author could do something interesting with it where it does have like a deep dynamic world and you like slowly piece it together
Sure.
like through the relationship, like the relationship is a device.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would write that, but I feel like that could be done
sounds
in an
cool.
interesting way.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like you don't want to get too heavy on like symbolism. Like their
Right,
love is
true.
like the World War VIII. So what is the
We were only at 4. What
Yeah,
happened?
oh,
this is
no.
way in the future.
World War
Gotcha,
Z.
gotcha. Yeah, right.
I like
Stands
that movie.
That was a book first.
Yeah,
was.
I have not read the book, but the movie was like fun.
like
Brad Pitt. I
word
think.
for word the exact
Yeah,
same
it
as
was.
the book.
Is it?
Is it?
Not in the
I
slightest.
didn't-
Oh, I was gonna say.
Like, because the book is interesting because it's like a guide on how to survive the zombie apocalypse.
It's not like actiony, is it?
no, because
Okay.
it's like fake nonfiction.
That's interesting. I did
It
not
is.
know that.
I didn't either.
That makes me want to read it like more. That's
like
interesting.
I think you guys would enjoy it because
Yeah.
it's like very self-aware and just kind of like tongue-in-cheek in a lot of places. And so, never read anything like that.
That's so interesting.
But then you have zombies running up a wall.
I liked it. I liked that.
I did
movie.
too.
I
It
liked
was
the movie
fun.
too.
I
I
did
thought it was
too.
fun.
It was like you knew what you were getting, and that's
Yeah.
not bad.
I know a
Yeah.
lot of people were frustrated because they were like, "It's a good zombie movie," and if you just named it like zombies exclamation point,
Just
people wouldn't have that
disconnect it from the book.
expectation.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That does make sense.
People were so angry that they adapted the book and then they didn't really adapt the book much at all.
Yeah.
That
is-
is frustrating.
Yeah. Neither romance nor fantasy.
No,
Thankfully.
that's true.
Although
Horror action.
Yeah.
Warm Bodies was a romance.
Yeah, horror.
Roar.
Horror.
Horacy?
Hormance.
Hormancy is it's the study of time. Hormancy, isn't it? Science
Like-
of time.
well-
Should I stop saying this word?
I know, well, like, horology is the study of clocks.
I think it is the study of time because that's the thing in the Magicians.
Okay.
The horror. I can't stop saying
Okay.
it.
Don't cut it off after the
I
first
didn't mean
syllable.
to. I'm so
So
sorry.
the horology is the study of clocks specifically.
Oh, okay.
What is the study of time called again?
I thought it was Hormancy.
Hormance.
That sounds right.
It does. I think
Okay.
so.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I've just I hadn't heard that word.
That does
Okay,
sound
okay.
right
Yeah.
to me.
Interesting.
So that can't be the name of the horror romance.
No. Hormance is bad.
I know it is.
Really bad.
I'll stop saying it forever.
But I do like the idea of it.
Yeah, I loved Warm Bodies.
Did-
It's so fun and bad.
You were the one that loved it.
Yeah, probably the
And your
only
other
one.
friends that were at your birthday
Yeah,
party.
we had such a good time. We loved it. It was so fun. We spooked ourselves out.
Who's the lead actor in that
I have
again?
no idea.
Because he's somebody.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Probably. Well, he's probably somebody.
I mean, like, he did something more recently, and it's like,
don't
whoa,
know.
crazy.
It makes
That
me.
guy.
So this. Well, it's related, but it makes me think of Lisa Frankenstein.
Ben Franklin's daughter.
Lisa Frankenstein movie that's coming out this
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
I don't know
It's
what
got-
one that is.
It's directed by who?
The guy that did Mithrigan
Yeah.
and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember who it is. Oh, and Jennifer's Body. This is directed by the
Oh,
person that did Jennifer's
Actually,
Body, not
no,
Megan. and
I'm wrong because there's
That's the-
another movie
that's the
coming out
Pooh
about like a. Well, it's not Pooh. It's like Teddy
Oh.
Ruxpin kind of.
oh, okay.
It looks terrible.
The scary bear movie. Yeah, it's the person who directed Jennifer's Body, which I love Jennifer's
Yeah.
Okay.
Body. And it's Lisa Frankenstein. It's like, I think she's a necromancer and she raises Cole Sprouse from the dead.
It looks so good.
It looks really campy. I think like all of us would like it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Jennifer's Body was totally unappreciated when it came
It
out.
was. I love Jennifer's Body.
I think it's because people were so over Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
People are so cruel to her.
I know.
It's
Makes no
terrible.
sense. Like she killed that role.
She did. She was really good in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hate her in Transformers either.
She didn't find like Transformers like nobody was gonna like
No.
win an Oscar.
No,
I'm not
that's
saying
fine.
her personal
Michael
life
Bay
is on
movie.
track,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what she does in her personal life
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
That scary
as long
ring.
as she's a good actress.
Oh.
Yeah.
Full of talentless man's blood.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes her bleed if
that's
she
right.
takes
If
it
she
off.
takes it off.
So bad. That's so like toxic and scary.
I love the fact that Machine Gun Kelly was a rapper, and then Eminem released a diss track that was so horrific and painful that he changed the genre to like pop punk. He doesn't rap at all anymore.
Love it.
He deserved it.
The song is Kill Shot. Listen to it. It's
I've heard
amazing.
it. I've heard
it's
it.
so good.
Yeah.
I was saying to all of our fans
Oh,
out
okay.
there,
Yeah.
explicit, but
It is.
very fun.
That's true. Don't
Trigger
listen to
warning.
it with the kiddos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good though. I feel like I've learned
Do
what
you?
romance is.
What romance is.
Romantasy. Romantasy.
Romantasy.
I will learn the term eventually.
You
not hard to
have
say.
to because these books are super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them are written by very popular authors, and if TikTok continues to be a thing, we'll have to stock them.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody was asking about them like maybe a month ago.
And I'll
but-
have to figure out where to put them in the
Yeah.
library.
Yeah, because the way she asked was, she said, "Do you have spicy fantasy books?" Like very quietly and nervously, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, we
do."
got those.
I was like, "I know just where to take you."
Where did you take her?
I took her to Sarah J. Maas
Nice.
to start,
Perfect.
and then I got her just like some straight up romance too.
That's
that
cool.
I was like, I've read these ones and they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sarah Moss is like the perfect
yeah. I
suggestion.
was like, this is
for
the
that.
She
best
is
place to start
for now.
I think.
Yeah, and there, like I said, there are more. Jennifer Armentrout is a prolific author. She has tons of books and a very wide following. I have not read one single one of her books.
Me neither, but I've heard the name a ton.
There
Yeah.
are a lot of. She has a lot of books out there.
I always get her mixed up with the author of, was it Red Queen?
Oh, Victoria Aveyard.
Yeah. Probably because I see them
I would
close
also
together.
call
That
those
makes sense.
romantasies.
Oh,
Okay. Interesting. I could kind of tell by the covers.
That makes sense.
It's like swords and hearts and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like perfect symbolism there.
yeah. Oh shoot, the now I'm not going to remember what it's called. There are several YA authors. The third book in the series is called Finale. They're very fun covers. Talk amongst yourselves because
What's your favorite series finale?
oh gosh,
That also had your favorite series premiere. But a kind of mid.
Breaking Bad is a really good premiere, but I never saw the finale, and I wouldn't
Also
call the
so
middle
good.
mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was give you too much. I
That's
just
one
want to hear
part of
your
your
series
question.
finale.
I don't know. BoJack Horseman's really good.
Okay. I can't wait to watch the rest.
the Caraval series. The Caraval series
Oh, okay.
by
Yes.
Stephanie Garber.
Okay.
I've seen those.
Gorgeous covers.
I was gonna say I do remember those having gorgeous covers.
Very,
Very cool.
very fall right in that category.
Are they like shiny covers?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
really pretty.
Very cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those of you out there who like fantasy and romance, try one of them out. See if you like it.
Yeah.
Let us know.
There's a really good chance you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. If you think you're gonna like it, you're not gonna be disappointed if you read Sarah J. Maas.
Right.
No.
I think it's gonna be up your alley.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
Pod shot. I can't
Pod
wait to
shot
write the
out.
theme for this episode.
Ooh, are you gonna
Yep.
write a romantasy song?
Seems easy. Get on it. Release it 8 months from now.
It's called Bella's Lullaby.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
good.
I
Oh
learned
my
that.
gosh.
We have a Twilight sheet
I
music
do
book.
love
It's
that.
beautiful.
It is a gorgeous
Oh my
song.
gosh.
That first the score for that first movie is
Perfect.
beautiful.
The muse.
Very intimate with that because you bought the Twilight sheet music book.
We have
and
it,
I
yeah.
brought it home and I learned so much.
Yeah.
It's beautiful music.
It
It
is
is.
beautiful.
It really
Really
is.
good.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, I'm
Kevin
going to take it home
Hardwick did
again
a great
tonight.
job. I wish. Yeah.
I'm
Do
going to learn
it.
it all on the mandolin.
You should. Oh, you should. That would
Oh,
be beautiful.
That would be.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's my
Bella's
goal.
Lullaby on the mandolin. Yeah.
I need to stay sane for the snow that we've already gotten through.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuck in the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Cool.
Romantasy.
Yay.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.